So, good morning students. In last class we have studied the blood groups. What are blood groups? How many types of blood groups and how these are we can able to identify the test group. That means which type of blood is containing in the person by antisera A and antisera B, and also universal donor and universal recipient. And also we have studied how the RH factor, what is RH factor, how RH factor plays an important role in a pregnancy. Now coming to the next one, that is second one, blood vessels. The second one is the blood vessels. So the channels which helpful for the flow of the blood, the channels which are helpful for which helpful are allows the flow of a blood is called as a blood vessels. So here the blood vessels, these are called, that means the channels which helpful or allows the flow of blood is called as a blood vessels. The blood vessels is a component, that means blood vessels are surrounded by the three components. It is surrounded by three components. It is surrounded by the three components, such as one is called as outer tunica externa, or otherwise we can call this as a tunica adventitia, and the second one is the medulla tunica media, and the last one, the third one, the inner is called as a tunica. The third one, that is we can call as the third one is the tunica, inner tunica intima, or we can call endothelium. So these are the three layers which are surrounded by the blood vessels. One is outer tunica externa, middle tunica media, and inner tunica intima and endothelium. So here what are an outer tunica externa, and it means these are the vessels where here these are consisting of a connective tissues. It consisting of a connective tissue. It consisting of connective tissue and elastic fibers, which allows the coiling, stretching, and the stretch and recoil. So these are the vessels. These are the type of vessels. That means these are the outermost layer of the blood vessels, where will having the connective tissues are presenting. Along with the connective tissues is containing elastic fibers, which allows the structure and recoiling is taken place. So such type of are called as an outer tunica externa, or we can call as adventitious. Next, here the second one, the second middle tunica. Here the second one will consist of it is here the second one, it consists of the smooth muscles. It consists of the smooth muscles. Here it is a layer where it consists of smooth muscles, and also it consists of the elastic fibers. So such type of layer where here it consists of the smooth muscles, smooth involuntary muscles will consist of smooth involuntary muscles. So that smooth involuntary muscles, and also it consisting of the elastic fibers, then such type are called as tunica media. And third one, tunica intima or endothelium. This layer will consisting of this layer consists of single layer of made up of consisting of single layer of and squamous epithelial cells. The squamous epithelial cells are presenting. So such type are called as the tunica intima, or otherwise you can call as the tunica or endothelium, where here will having a lumen, and also it consists of made up of squamous epithelium, and also it consists of the lumen. The lumen is presenting. So such type are called as a tunica intima or an endothelium. So here it is surrounding, that means blood vessels are surrounded by the three components, that is tunica externa, tunica media, and tunica intima, where here tunica externa it consists of connective tissues. Along with these connective tissues, it is made up of an elastic fibers, which are helpful for the stretch and recoiling. So such type of layer is called as tunica externa. And tunica media, it consisting of, this is the layer where it consists of smooth muscles, smooth involuntary muscles are presenting, and they also consist of an elastic fibers are presenting. And the second one, tunica intima, here will having this layer is consist of a single layer of squamous epithelial cells, and it is also consist of lumen is presenting in the blood vessels. So these are the three layers which is surrounded by the blood vessels. Next, we will discuss what are the types of the blood vessels. Now coming to the types of blood vessels. The types of blood vessels. So here there are three types of blood vessels are presenting. The types of blood vessels. Types of blood vessels. So here there are three types of blood vessels are there. One is called as arteries. Second one is the veins, and the third one is the capillaries. So these are the three types of the blood vessels, such as the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries. So here what are arteries means? These are the blood vessels. These are the these are the blood vessels which carries these are the blood vessels which carries blood, which carries blood away from the heart. That means these are the blood vessels which carries the blood away from the heart. So such type of blood vessels are called as the arteries. So here arteries will having a thick walled cells are presenting. They are a thick walled cells. They are made up of a thick walled cells, and also you'll having the narrow lumen is a lumen. It consisting of a narrow lumen is presenting, and also here you'll having the pressure, the blood pressure is more in the arteries, and also here when they are empty, here collapsing will not be taken place. That means when they are empty, here empty, collapse are not taken place. Collapse not taken place. So such type of blood vessels, and also here the all arteries carries the oxygenated blood. It carries the oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Except pulmonary artery, the pulmonary artery will carries the deoxygenated the blood. So all arteries will carry the blood away from the heart, and except one artery that is called as pulmonary artery will carries the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs that are carried. So such type of arteries are called as that means all carries oxygenated, but except the pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood, that is from the heart it carries deoxygenated blood is carried from heart to the lungs for the purification. So such type of vessels are channels which carries only the oxygenated blood to all parts of the body, that is will carries the blood away from the heart. So such type of channels or blood vessels are called as the arteries. So here we will having here, and also here there is no valves in arteries. The valves are an absent will be taken place. The valves are an absent will be taken place in the arteries. So these are the where, and here these arteries will divide into a small fine like structures called as arterioles. We can call them as arterioles. That means here all the arteries which are entered into the tissues. So here they divide into fine capillaries. That means fine capillaries like structures. They are called as the arterioles. So this is where we can call them as the arteries. Next, coming to this here, reverse of these will be presenting of the veins. Where here the blood vessels which carries blood away towards the heart, towards the these are the, that means the veins. The veins, these are the blood vessels which carries the blood towards the heart. So such type of vessels are called as the veins. Where here the veins which carries the blood towards the heart, and also here these are thin walled cells. thin walled, these are thin walled cells are presenting, and also here the lumen is a broad in structure. It is a broad in structure. So here what happens, the blood pressure is low in this, the blood pressure is low in the veins, and also here these are the all veins carries deoxygenated blood except the pulmonary vein. So the pulmonary vein will carry the oxygenated blood from lungs to heart. So it carries the blood from lungs to the heart. So such type of blood vessels are called as the veins, where here these are all veins will carry the deoxygenated blood. That means here more amount, that means they collect all the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body and brings towards the heart. But except pulmonary artery, here pulmonary artery will carry the oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart, that is carried. So here in this will consist of valves. The valves are present, which prevents backflow, the backflow. That means the blood will not return to this. So here black flow will not be taken place. That is mainly taken place with the help of the veins. So here the veins. Here the veins are divided. These all veinlets. That means here what are the arteries are presenting. The arteries are divided into arterioles. These arterioles are joined with venules. All venules are combined together to form veins. Here the venules combined together. Here venules combined to form the veins. So such type are called as the veins, where here the fine veinless structures are taken place. So they are called as the veins are presenting, where these are carries the blood towards the heart. So such type are called as the veins. Next, coming to the third one. Here the third one is the capillaries. Here capillaries, what are capillaries means? Capillaries are called as the exchanging vessels. The capillaries are called as the exchanging the vessels. That means here the exchanging of gases are taken place. The gases, the food materials, and also food materials. So here it carries the food materials. Gases exchanging is taken place. Gases, food materials are taken by this. That means exchanging of materials are taken place. So here we can call them as the exchanging the vessels, where here the capillaries which are presenting here, these are mainly meant for the exchanging of the vessels. So here, due to the exchanging of the materials, the capillaries are called as the exchanging vessels. Now we will discuss detailedly. So here capillaries. Capillaries here there is no, in the capillaries it is made up of a single layer of squamous epithelial cells are presenting. The squamous epithelial cells the cells are presenting, where here it does not having the muscles are absent in this the muscles are absent, and also here these capillaries, already I said, these are called as the exchanging vessels, where here exchanging of materials are taken place. Due to the exchanging of the materials, the capillaries are also called as the exchanging vessels, where here inwards diffusion of the oxygen, inward diffusion of oxygen, and outward diffusion of carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide, and also here some amount of WBC will be oozes outside across the it oozing outside across the capillaries, by the amoeboid movement is called as the diapedicis. So here they escape the capillaries and fight against the harmful germs, where here they exchanging. So here they fight against harmful germs in the form of amoeboid movement by the WBC across the capillaries. So this process we can call as the diapedicis. Not only that one, here inward movement of, that means inward taking of oxygen by the capillaries, that is diffusing into the blood, into the tissues, that is taken place in the presence of capillaries only. And outward, that means what is the carbon dioxide present in tissues, that is enters into the capillaries by the outward movement of a diffusion of carbon dioxide will taken place. These are the various functions which is performed by the capillaries, and these capillaries are developed, that means they are fine hair-like structures. All capillaries are combined together to form venules. These venules will develop into a large veins. These veins will carry the deoxygenated blood to different parts towards the heart. So here, if you taken place here, these are the capillaries, these are arteries, where it is divided into a fine-like structures. These fine-like structures are joined by the so these are called as the fine-like structures are presenting, where these are joined together. So here these are called as arteries, and these are called as the veins, and these are called as venules, and these are called as arterioles. So here this is the place where we can call them as the capillaries, where the exchanging of materials, capillaries, where exchanging of the materials are taken place. So here the arteries will carry divided into fine hair-like structures called as arterioles. these arterioles will combine into a small fine-like structures called as venules. These venules are combined together to form a large veins, where in between the exchanging of arterioles and venules together we can call as the capillaries, where the exchanging of materials are taken place. So here capillaries are called as the exchanging vessels. So these are the three types of the blood vessels. One is arteries, capillaries, first one is arteries, second one is veins, and third one is the capillaries, where these are the three types of the blood vessels which carries, that means these are the vessels which are channels which carries the blood towards the heart or away from the heart. Such type are called as the blood vessels. There are three types of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Next, later that we will discuss. So here the capillaries which are presenting, the capillaries are also, they act as the vasodilators as well as the vasoconstrictors. The capillaries also acts as the vasodilators, and second one is the constrictors called as the vasodilators and the vasoconstrictors. Vasodilators means it increasing the lumen of blood vessels, increase the lumen of blood vessels is called as the vasodilators, and the vasoconstrictors means decreasing the lumen of blood vessels. The lumen of blood vessels are called as the vasoconstrictors, where we can see best example in when you are going into a bright sunlight, in hot sunlight, if it is going here, increase the blood vessels. So when you coming to a cool place, here that means when you coming to the cool place, the blood vessels are the constriction of blood vessels are taken place. That is, we can taken place as vasoconstrictors and vasodilators. That means the face will be increases. That means it becomes a brick red. When it is in hot sun, here the face will becomes more bright. That is red in color. It becomes, why means here increase the lumen of blood vessels. So here due to that increasing of blood vessels, we can call as vasodilators. When you coming to cool place, it becomes a brick, that is brick red, that is produced. So that means here that decreasing the lumen of blood vessels, that decreasing of lumen of blood vessels we can call as the vasoconstrictors. And also here we will having the other type of fluid that is called as a tissue fluid, or otherwise we can call them as the lymph. So here in the fluid, that means in the blood where the cells are not be present, in that means the blood where it is not enters into the tissues. So such type of tissues which is presenting, we can call as a tissue fluid, or we can call that as an interstitial fluid. So that interstitial fluid will be in the form of like a lymph. That means here where the tissues are not be presenting, where the tissues, that means the blood is not reached. So where the blood is enters into the tissues, such we can call as a lymph. These lymphs is presenting in the lymph nodes. So these lymph which are presenting, these lymph nodes which are presenting, they are produced by the lymph glands or lymph organs. Lymph organs are presenting, these lymph organs will produce lymph nodes, where here these are the type of a blood vessel. That means here we will having how the blood containing the plasma, same plasma is presenting, same type of a plasma also is presenting in the lymph, but except here it having the blood, that is the blood proteins. Except blood proteins remaining, all contents which are presenting, that is will be the same is presenting in the lymph. That lymph of the plasma also will having the same type except the blood proteins. So here due to this we can differentiate the lymph as well as the blood. That is lymph of the plasma as well as blood of the plasma will be differentiated. Why means here they are more or both are presenting, except here when in lymph of the plasma, here it is not containing the except blood proteins. That means blood proteins are absent, that will not be presenting in these lymph. So such type are called as lymph. This lymph is produced in the lymph nodes, where they are produced by lymphatic organs. So here the spleen is also a one type of the spleen. The spleen is also a one type of a lymphatic organ, and also here the spleen is presenting beside the abdominal regions. Behind right side of the abdominal regions, beside the stomach, it is presenting, where here it acts as the lymphatic organ, and also here it produces the RBC in an embryonic stage. And also the dead RBC, that is a dead RBC. That means the lifespan of RBC is completed. There enters into the spleen, where spleen we can call as the burial ground of the RBC, or a vineyard of the RBC, where they are decomposed, they are distracted in the spleen. And also here this spleen will produce lymphatic organ. This lymphatic organ will produce the antibodies which fight against the harmful germs. And also in embryonic stage, this spleen is helpful for the synthesizing of the blood along with the liver. So that here liver and lymph we can, liver and spleen we can call as the hemopoietic organ. That means here in the hem means blood, poietic means synthesizing organ. That means it is an organ where they synthesize the blood in the embryonic stage. So such type of are called as the hemopoietic organ. That is the spleen and the liver we can call as the hemopoietic organs, where it is one of the important organ where they act as a lymphatic organ. This is where we can take place in these. This is where, that is the topic of the tissue fluid, lymph as well as the spleen, and also the blood vessels. So in next class we will discuss that is the structure of the heart, that we will discuss. But in last class I said we will discuss the structure of the heart. Before that you have to complete the blood vessels. Later we will having the heart. So in next class we will discuss the structure of the heart.